With Liverpool recently drawing against Spurs, Manchester City now find themselves in pole position to take the Premier League title for the 2021-2022 season. We're back once again for week 37 of the Premier League predictions. Just a couple of more weeks left. There are matches taking place this evening, and Manchester City are playing this evening as well. So we're not going to bring you the scores for week 36 at the beginning of this video and the leaderboard. We'll do that at the end of the video. But without further ado, let's crack on, make some predictions for week 37.
Okay, so first up we have the midday on Sunday between Spurs and Burnley. Now, no 3 o'clock Saturdays this weekend, as it is the FA Cup final, of course, between Liverpool and Chelsea. Spurs-Burnley. Spurs draw last time against Liverpool. That is a very good result for them, actually. Conte making Spurs a solid outfit, to be fair. And then Burnley down at the bottom of the table, losing for the first time in a while last time around against Aston Villa. Mind, Aston Villa are starting to pick up a little bit now towards the end of the season. Do think Spurs will just about grind it out. Burnley not entirely safe as of yet, but I'm going to go for a 2-1 victory to Spurs.
Yeah, I expect Spurs to follow up that good performance against Liverpool with a victory over Burnley. Okay, Burnley, we're on a good run of form, but looking who they played recently, which was Watford, who they beat, Wolves, who were in not very good form themselves, and Southampton, who have been in dire form. So, you know, that's where Burnley have picked up those points. Losing at home against Aston Villa, I think they'll lose here against a decent Spurs outfit, and I'm going to go for a 2-0 victory to the home side. Next up, also on Sunday at 2 o'clock, we've got Aston Villa coming up against Crystal Palace. So Aston Villa, a good performance against Liverpool, but ultimately losing that game too. When Danny Ings had a number of chances in that fixture, but it wasn't to be in the end. Crystal Palace, a good run of form, find themselves in 10th position. Plenty of pace all over the park, of course. Last 2 matches, which have been back-to-back victories against Watford and Southampton, who are, you know, their seasons petered out. But I'm going to go for a victory to Villa, 2-1.
Well, I actually think it's going to be a lot closer than that. I have been impressed with both Palace and Villa recently as well, especially Villa, very unlucky against Liverpool. John Moss just giving the 3 points to Liverpool in that game. Absolute disgrace, but yeah, they're going to cancel each other out, aren't they? 1-1 draw. Next up, we've got Leeds against Brighton. Now, Leeds etched in that relegation zone. Jesse Marsh, being Jesse Marsh, as we expected him to be, just being completely terrible in the last few games. Defensively, shocking. I mean, they went on that good run of form a few weeks ago, but look at the teams they were playing. Anyone could beat them, and even then they should have grown out some better results than that. But yeah, this should be Brighton's game, considering they have been on actually quite good form recently. 4-0 victory against Man United, 3-0 against Wolves. So yeah, I'm going to go 2-0 for Brighton. 2-0. Yeah, I think Brighton, the Seagulls, will come away with a victory in this one, but Leeds at home at Ellen Road, they could take all 3 points this. They are in the relegation zone. That crowd at Ellen Road, can they push them on to victory in this one? It's one of the more likely games that they could win. However, I think Brighton will come away with all 3 points. Probably a little bit over ambitious in this one. I'm going to go for a 3-1 away victory. So next up, we've got Watford coming up against Leicester, also at 2 o'clock on Sunday. Watford losing their last 6 matches on the bounce. They're on the beach, they're done.
Well, yeah, but where are they going to get any points for the rest of the season? This could be the match that they could pick something up at home at Vicarage Road against a Leicester side who have tumbled down the table. Surprisingly now in 14th position, only 1 victory in their last 6, which was 6 matches ago, losing at home against Everton, come on Leicester, and at Tottenham as well. So I fancy Watford to get a point in this one. And incidentally, Watford, I think they've only won 2 matches at home all season, so I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw.
Interesting. I'm still going to edge a Leicester victory in this one.
Yeah? Wow.
If they're going to win a game, considering some of the teams they've been playing
And
recently,
they've been knocked out of the European competition.
losing to Roma, and considering, well, they haven't even beaten Everton, and they've played both of their matches against them recently as well. It's not looking good for them, but that Watford team is completely abysmal at the moment. I mean, you can tell Roy's attitude with the way he just left Selhurst Park the other day. So I'm going to go 2-0 Leicester. They should be able to grind something in this one. Next, I've got West Ham against Man City. That is a very tasty one. However, I mean, Man City have signed Erling Haaland. They've got a striker finally.
Well, not this season. For next
season. Oh boy, yeah, that's going to make that Man City team absolutely unbelievable, isn't it? And for the price fee as well, which is actually quite cheap for Haaland, to be fair. So, yeah, can I see West Ham getting something in this one? They're pretty much certain for European football now, considering where Wolves are, unless they pick up points. But one more win and they're there. Maybe they could even get into the Europa League, considering Man United exists. So, I think I'm going to go for a Man City win in this one regardless. So, yeah, 2-0 to Man City.
2-0 to Man City. Well, Manchester City last time out, an absolutely fabulous home victory against Newcastle. Newcastle were in fine form. 5-0. They did that after being knocked out of the Champions League at the hands of Real Madrid, when really they should have gone through to that final, but they kind of choked, didn't they, at the last hurdle. They should win this match, although I was looking at West Ham stats, and West Ham have actually scored, I believe it, in each and every home game this season. So I think they'll get a goal, but I think Man City will smash 4 past them. So I'm going to go for West Ham 1, Manchester City 4. Then we move on again on Sunday. We've got Wolves at home against Norwich. Norwich, bottom of the table, 4 defeats in their last 6. They're in the Championship, finding it hard to score. Wolves, you don't know what you can expect. Only 1 win in the last 6, although they did get a very good draw last time out against Chelsea. They were 2-0 down.
But Chelsea haven't been great either.
I know, they were 2-0 down in that game, coming back. I fancy them to get something in this match. I'm going to go for a 2-0 victory to Wolves. Probably a little bit over optimistic, but yeah, 2-0 for me.
Wolves are going to get a couple, I think. Norwich, I have not been impressed by them in their last few games, leaking goals like crazy. 4-0, 2-0, 3-0. Norwich, for a certain, aren't scoring in this game, 100%, but they're going to concede a load. 2-0 against Aston Villa, 4-0 against West Ham. Going to go straight in the middle, 3-0 to Wolves. Anyway, moving on. Next, I've got a tasty one. Everton-Brentford. Now, Brentford really knocking on at the end of the season. Now they know that they are safe. 1 loss in their last 6. That was against Man United, but bouncing back with that 3-0 against Southampton. Should be able to beat Everton. I mean, Everton are trying to crawl their way out of it. 2 wins recently against a hapless Chelsea and a very hapless Leicester. So, going to go 1-0, probably an Ivan Toney goal here to Brentford.
1-0. Wow. Well, Everton at home recently been very good. They haven't lost in the last 3 home games, but they're coming up against the Brentford side full of confidence. Ericsson pulling strings in the middle of the park. Bueno's looking decent these days, as well as Tony, as you've already mentioned. Very, very tight game. Everton Toffees could win this one, and if they do, then that's pretty much, I would say,
if Everton win, they're saying up.
However, I think Brentford will take all 3 points. I'm going to go for a surprising 2-1 away victory to the Bees, and that takes place at 4 o'clock on Sunday. Then we move on to Monday evening, where we've got Newcastle coming up against Arsenal. Another difficult one to predict. Arsenal got ambitions of Champions League football next season, currently occupying 4th position at this moment in time on Wednesday evening on 66 points. Tottenham 62 points. That could all change, of course. I fancy them to go away to St James's Park, although Newcastle have been in fairly decent form, and I'm gonna have them winning away from home up there in the northeast 2-1.
Yeah, I'm gonna have Arsenal winning away as well. Newcastle sitting on the beach, but they
haven't scored in the last 2 matches.
They haven't scored in the last 2 matches, and they aren't.
But they have played Liverpool and Man City.
They aren't performing well against the top 6 sides, though, and they haven't really done this season either. So, yeah, I'm just going to edge it to Arsenal 2-1. I do think Newcastle will score, though. Next, we've got Southampton against Liverpool. Southampton absolutely woeful. This is on Tuesday at 8 o'clock. Yeah. How many do I think Liverpool will score? 5. They're going to push 5-0 Liverpool.
Well, even though Liverpool being it was a narrow win over Aston Villa, which you could say we're a little bit fortunate to come away with all 3 points.
But Villa really played well.
Yeah, and then last time at home against Spurs, it was a draw. They had a few problems coming away in that second leg in the Champions League against Villarreal. So Liverpool, not, even though they're winning and drawing and not losing, they're not really firing on all cylinders. However, against the Southampton team, I think they will come away with just a 2-0 victory down there on the south coast. We move on to Thursday now. Why do we play on Thursday nights? Fixture congestion, of course. We've got Everton coming up against Crystal Palace. I think this is the one where Everton will probably seal their survival for another season. And surprisingly, even though Crystal Palace has been playing excellently of late, I'm going to go for an Everton 2-1 victory.
Interesting. I'm actually going to go the other way. I'm going to go for a Crystal Palace 2-1 victory. Well, it looks things, and with the way I have it stood, with Everton losing both of their games and Brighton picking up points against Leeds, for me on this one, this will take it down to the last game of the season between Leeds and Everton for who's going to go down. So to put my prediction out there, I'm going to go 2-1 Crystal Palace, meaning that Leeds will be on about -38 if that's correct, and then Everton will be on about -21, 22. So Everton have the upper hand on the goal difference as well, but for that one it'll just be the case of who gets the higher point share on that final day. Next up we've got Aston Villa against Burnley. Difficult one to predict this one, but Aston Villa showing promising signs at the end of the season, really turning it around. They're going to finish the season on a high. Burnley could still be in that relegation mix, so I'm going to go 2-0. 2-0 at home for Villa, They got plenty of firepower, haven't they, up front? Whether they can finish those chances off is another thing. Pope in goals for Burnley has been in very, very good form of late. I think Villa at home, though. Burnley is going to go down, as you say, possibly to the last game of the season between Leeds and Burnley. But I'm going to go for a Villa 1-0 victory in the final. Fixture of this game week sees Chelsea taking on Leicester. Leicester dire, Chelsea not much better, not great,
but they've got the better team, better squad. It may be that they're on a high after the FA Cup final against Liverpool. If they lost that, they want to come out all guns firing against Leicester. I think they'll gain all 3 points in this one. I'm going to go for 2-1 home win.
I actually think Liverpool are going to win the FA Cup final, so Chelsea are going to come back for redemption. I'm going to go 2-0 to Chelsea, which will secure their European football for next season.
Fantastic. So that concludes our predictions for week 37 of this 2021-2022 Premier League season. As usual, make sure you leave your predictions over at the Super Brew website. Now, it is Wednesday evening. Now, on the screen are the current scores for week 36. There we go, lads and lasses. And there is the current leaderboard as well. There we are. So, Nathan, Premier League's coming to a crescendo, an end. We haven't got any more football for Cardiff City. What's happening on your channel?
Well, who knows at this point? We'll wait and see. But Wales vlogs are coming up, and we got to do all the reviews on here, haven't we, as well? We are. There'll be plenty of videos coming out at the end of the season with Championship review, preview for that one. Championship review. There are some of the worst predictions you have ever seen in that video. Wait to react to that one. We'll see if they're better than last season. How we compare? No chance because I think it was pretty decent last season. Mine was terrible. But if there's nothing else you'd like to add, we'll leave it there. We're going to enjoy the football over the weekend. Maybe we'll do a live stream of that FA Cup final, Chelsea-Liverpool, maybe on your channel, maybe on this one. Stay tuned for that, unless we're doing something else. Other than that, enjoy the Premier League fixtures over the weekend and next week, and we'll see you all in the next video.